Good day to you. We're on the second video of the three comings of Jesus this Advent. We would like to invite you to reflect with us the many comings of the Lord in our life as they are outlined in the imagination of the Church through the writings of the Fathers of the Church. The topic that was given to me is the coming of Jesus in the past, and immediately this is about the incarnation of the Lord, His coming in a specific time and a specific place, and His decision to be with us in His fidelity, submission to the will of the Father, generous love that is salvific for us. And so we marvel at this first coming of Jesus Christ in this season of Advent, and we awaken in our heart this desire to experience anew this coming of Jesus in history, this coming of Jesus in His incarnation, the coming of Jesus to be with us.
Holy darkness, blessed night, heaven's answer hidden from our sight, as we await you, O God of silence, we embrace your as we await you, O God of silence, we embrace your holy night. I have taught you the price of compassion. You have stood before the grave. Though my love can seem like a raging storm, this is the love that saves. Holy darkness, blessed night, heaven's answer hidden from our sight, as we await you, O God of silence, we embrace your holy night. Were you there when I raised up the mountains? Can you guide the morning star? Does the hawk take flight when you give command? Why do we doubt thy as we await you, O God of silence. We embrace your holy night, as the watchman waits for morning, and the bride awaits her groom. So we wait to hear your footsteps as we rest beneath your moon. Holy darkness, blessed night, heaven's answer hidden from our sight, as we await you, O God of silence. We embrace the holy night.
The coming of Jesus in history is something we encounter with all thanksgiving. There's this tradition of the Jewish people in that one rabbi was said to have marveled at this one line from the beginning of the proclamation of the prophets. And that line is always telling us, and God spoke, and God spoke. And when this reader in the synagogue stood up and read through that line, it dawned on him that heaviness of reality, that God spoke in all his freedom, in all his love, and all his generosity. We could linger with that for a bit and experience in our hearts that marveling that has happened in the heart of that synagogue reader. God did not disturb his silence. God did not speak anything to us, especially after being generous with his creating us, his giving us light, his contracting a covenant with his people, and his calling us specifically by our name to life, to a good way of living out our freedom through his covenant, through his laws. And yet, when we get to the prophets, we still marvel at this reality of a forgiving God who speaks and disturbs his silence to address the suffering people who are going through their difficulty, going through the very result of humanity's choice of turning away from God's laws, humanity's choice of embroiling themselves to sinful patterns, and the choice to be turned in or be bent in our freedom that is slowly enslaving us through sin. We marvel at this reality along with that reader of the synagogue proclamation from the prophets, because in the very sinfulness of man, in his being embroiled in the very suffering that is the result of his sin, God bothers to disturb his peace and address himself and speak his word of concern, his word of freedom, his word of salvation, his word of consolation to a suffering and sinful humanity. And so this coming of Jesus Christ in the New Testament, in a way, is a deeper fulfillment, a deeper realization of that God speaking to us, addressing us in all his freedom. In the same way that God was not forced into creating us and giving us light, God's movement of mercy is all the more an outflow of his generosity, his loving freedom, and his compassion towards us. And so as we linger and savor this God who spoke to us, the first coming of Jesus is telling us that in history, there is an appointed time, there is an appointed place for the very materialization, for the very incarnation, or for the very personification of this mercy speaking to us, this compassion being with us. So we are invited to encounter or to face this God's addressing us in the coming of Jesus. We are invited to encounter this specific embodiment in history of God's Word, calls forth the deepest recesses of our heart to open ourselves up in total thanksgiving for this mystery that is unmerited, this mystery that does not depend on humanity's readiness or humanity's character or humanity's talent or preparation. This gratuitous gift, this freely given gift in history, is inviting us to prepare with thanksgiving deep in our heart. At this point, we could also recall the many small echoes of a thankful Advent that we could live out in the following days. At this point, we could specifically call to mind how to sustain this thankful lingering with this merciful God addressing himself to us. The mercy that is totally given out of his freedom. How are we to stay in that thanksgiving or in that thankful mode to be able to enjoy, rest, and really remain or abide by this deep reality of who God is for us as he comes to us in his compassion, of his understanding, and his generosity. Another dimension perhaps of God's incarnation or God's choice to be with us as we recall this coming of Jesus in the past is entry into a mystery of God abiding by us, not only in history, but God joining us in the very materiality or the very bodiliness of who we are. As we encounter the Lord, as He has given us a specific time in His coming in the past to be with us, maybe it's also good to savor His mystery of choosing to be one, or choosing to be as near as possible as a creator to the materialness of reality, in the very height of what it means to be embodied in the coming of Jesus through His incarnation. Though we presuppose this goodness in all around us, because everything that God has created is good. But all the more, in the coming of Jesus in the past, there is this point not only in a historical event, or not only in a spatial reality that has happened, but in a very real dimension of who we are. God so chose, God so elected to be with us in our bodiliness, in our physicality. And this is somehow a forgotten reality of Jesus' coming in the past. I say somehow forgotten because, well, it seems we fail so many times to realize and to appreciate this decision of Jesus to be incarnate and to be with us, materially to be with us, physically. Because in His decision to be one with us, with humanity, in His compassion and love, there's also a decision to make sacred everything that is assumed by Him as a human person with a body, as a human reality with relationships, as a human who interacts with the worldliness or the physicality of everyday life. This somehow, in a way, simplifies what holiness means for us. This somehow deepens on the mystery of what it means to be in the world, to engage in the everydayness of life, to be grounded in the simplicity of going about our reality as human beings with things to do and things to accomplish. This coming of Jesus in the past, that He has so decided to be with us, it's not only something that we are thankful for, and while that is very important, it is also something that calls us to a deeper reverence to the material world, to all of creation, even to our own bodies. The coming of Jesus in the past gives us this grace of appreciating and celebrating what is concrete, what is immediately tactile, and what is experienced by the love that has been given to us in history, is all the more made solid and concrete in Jesus being present bodily with the apostles, Jesus sharing a meal with them, Jesus receiving care from His friends and His family, and Jesus going through the very rituals or habits of what it means to be someone who is grounded in reality, someone who is one with the concreteness of the world or the worldliness of all that is physical. In a way, in the incarnation of Jesus, somehow a new dimension to what it means to be bodily and what it means to be physically true is given to us. We are invited not in this time of Advent to, one, be thankful for God who has entered history and addresses himself to us in our sinfulness. But two, we are also invited to marvel and to listen much more closely, perhaps, to this invitation of Jesus to encounter him and receive his holiness as we go about in the concreteness of what it means to be human, what it means to be embodied, what it means to be involved with the soil, with the water, with trees, with animals, with concrete friends. What it means to be grounded, what it means to be a someone who could physically serve and exert effort in concretizing love and compassion. So in a way, what we are saying, Jesus did not only give us stories about himself. Jesus did not only give us explanations or indications how to understand him and how to say or address ourselves to him, but more so, Jesus gave us a depth to the concreteness of the concrete, that in all of this, because he has so decided to be with us, he's also present. I remember Father Roque Furios, before relating to us this story to Father Horacio de la Costa, giving them the recollection right after the very end of the Second World War, when Manila has already been liberated from the Japanese, and after the rubble and all the destruction caused by the bombing of Manila by the Americans, they were able to gather together again. And when they are gathered, the points given to them by Horacio de la Costa has to do with the first chapter of the Gospel of St. John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And everything that was created was through this Word. And I hear in that preaching of Horacio de la Costa, right after the war, in the midst of devastation of the rubbles of Manila, in the midst of the dust and the soil that was still lingering with the Jesuit fathers who tried to bury those who by death in the streets of Manila when the Japanese were trying to retreat from the city, and they killed many residents of Manila as they were trying to withdraw. And it was the task of the Jesuits to bury this rotting flesh or rotting dead bodies on the streets. And in that background, that word that is the means by which everything has been created, that word that has so joined us in his incarnation, gives another dimension to what it means to be worldly. It no longer is an antithesis of the sacred or the holy, but there is a sacrality or a sacramental reality in our physicality and in our worldliness. And I hope as we celebrate this coming of Jesus in the past, as we linger in these days of Advent, we hear that very gentle call to encounter the holiness of Jesus, and to respond to it with fidelity, with faithfulness, as He invites us to experience His sacrality or His sacredness in the very material reality that we experience. And here we could realign with the spiritualities like that of Satan and Simplicio, or this Brother Lawrence of the Carmelite contemplatives, who tell us, the presence of Jesus, the presence of God, is very much found in the everydayness of our actions, in the everydayness of what we handle, what we hold, in the material that we use or the tools that we handle so that we can accomplish our tasks. Maybe in the very physicality of the broomstick that we hold on to, or the spoons and fork that we use as we eat our meal. This reality of all of this is the Word made flesh, in the ripple of what it means for us that what Jesus so decided to be with us in His physicality, in His relationality as someone who could touch, someone who could walk, someone who is grounded, someone who is with us in our worldliness. And I hope this could move us more to, also listen to the invitation of our beloved Pope Francis, telling us to, it is our Christian task, it is our commitment in fidelity as disciples of Jesus to really reverence and honor God in nature, in all of creation. The third dimension, perhaps, of God's coming in the past, if the first dimension has to do with His entry into history as the embodiment of salvation or forgiveness for sinful humanity, if the second is His call to fidelity, to a life of sacramentality, or a life of finding the sacred in the material, to His incarnation, the third perhaps has to do with the humanity of Jesus, the incarnation as Jesus being fully human and fully divine, and His divinity being with us in His humanity. Again, this celebration of Advent, as we recall God coming to us in time and a place, is as we recall God entering into the materiality of the world. There's this another dimension that invites us to simply relate with Jesus and simply seek in our humanity that which is godly, that which is holy. Jesus in His incarnation simplifies for us the call to holiness. And in all religions we find the set of codes, the set of moral imperatives that members of a religion are supposed to follow so that they can be identified as members of a particular cult or a particular religion. But for us, in the Christian way of believing, in the Christian way of being with Jesus, it is more than a blind obedience to the laws, but it's more of following or discipleship. It's more of relating with the Lord, so much so that we are not only given an ideal, but we are given more of a relationship to work on. So, this third aspect of the coming of Jesus in the past has to do with, the simplicity of finding God in our humanity. Because Jesus has so decided to be with us in a time and a place, in the material reality of the incarnation. Jesus as a relational God has so, in a way, put down or leveled down that which is between God and humanity. That we can no longer say that God is so up there and unreachable, but we marvel with all humility at how God is with us and God is in us, in our humanity. This coming of the Lord in the past, we keep on saying that because we're trying to reflect on the first aspect of Advent that has to do with the coming of the Lord in the past. And yet, the past of Jesus is an ongoing past, or how would you say it? It's his entry into time and history is something that is not relegated to what has happened before, but since God has so entered into history, it is the nowness of God that we experience each moment of our life as we relate with Jesus. His entry into our humanity is a depth of the mystery of his coming in the past that until now is incomprehensible for us, until now baffles us. And yet, in the very generosity of Jesus, he delivers and makes true and makes concrete and makes physical in his reality. This invitation to humility is a response to this, somehow we call it a kenosis of the Lord, because he has so lowered himself to the point of incarnation, of being with us. And even if we go back the stories immediately before his Paschal mystery, he has so lowered himself to the point of being identified with the poor, that he could receive the generosity of someone like Mary of Bethany, anointing him, because he has so entered into that abject level of lowliness that he's ready to receive even like a poor who is among us. And that downward movement of Jesus' incarnation and coming in the past has soon made accessible for us what it means to be godly, what it means to be sacred, what it means to be whole, simplified, or maybe simply put, we can say, we should not forget that Jesus saved us through his humanity. And so we look for Jesus not only in the sacraments or the liturgy, even though they are very important, we also are invited to look for Jesus in all humanity, in ourselves, in our need for God, in our lowliness, and our humility towards God. This coming of Jesus in the past as an ongoing reality, as an ongoing call to let go more of our ego and allow God to present to us a more real self, a more authentic self. who is someone that is given back to us by that mercy of God entering into history, by that fidelity of Jesus, making worldly as sacred or making all creation as sacred. We are now invited to, humbly be with Jesus as He has so decided to be with us in the simplicity of what that means for us. That we discover Him in the very depths of our inmost desires, in the very depths of who we are, in the most basic need of our cry for love, in our most basic need for life and belonging. The Lord has given us the grace of His coming in the past, that these dimensions of His being with us in a specific time and place, this dimension of being with us in His physicality, and lastly, this dimension of Jesus being with us in His humanity, has so opened the door somehow for us to simply, approach each other in the most basic or the simplest of a human being compassionate with a fellow human, a human who communicates with respect to another, a human who listens to each other, as somehow try to grapple with all our issues in the country, as we try to mend all the response of our patterns of sin, as we try to repair and restore what was wounded by our injustices or our compromise with what is not right or our unfreedoms. We marvel at His basicness in a way, or this simplicity of the very invitation of coming Adventist. Be with who you are in the simplicity of someone who is longing for God, someone who is thirsting for righteousness, someone who is longing for peace, someone who desires salvation not only for himself but for every human state. So, in all this nakedness of what it means to be human, to our surprise, the Incarnation has so accompanied us even to the very depths or the very lowliness of that reality. So, as we celebrate this coming of Jesus in the past, somehow the exercises would help us being one, seeking out moments of God's approach, occasioning our thanksgiving, to listening to an invitation to be faithful to what is holy in the concreteness of created reality. And 3, the humility of the courage of being accepted for who we are as broken humanity embraced by Jesus in the Incarnation. The very simplicity of going back to what is human as that which is holy or made holy by Jesus' incarnation or coming at the pass.
Sino mas malumanay sa pugong kumakaway? Sino mas dalisay sa hamog sa imaymay? Sino mas malambing sa mapaglarong hangin? Sino mas maningning sa buwan at bituin? Aba Maria, mahal naming ina, masigla sa damong sumukot. Sinong takbuhan ng mga duka? Sinong tanggulan ng mahihina? Aba Maria, mahal naming ina, ang landas mo kay Jesucristo, buong tiwala kanyang inigaw. Maganap na ang iyong salita. Sinong dakila, lingkod ng mga utos. Santa Maria, ina ng Diyos. Sino ang reyna ng langit at lupa? Sinong mag-aaruga ng lahat ng nilikha? Aba Maria, mahal naming ina, ang nagdasumo kay Jesucristo, buong tiwala kanyang inigaw. Maganap ang iyong salita. Sinong dakila, lingkod ng mga utos. Santa Maria, ina ng Diyos.
We will give you some further questions for reflection, and I hope this reflection on Jesus' coming in the past is helpful for you, so that you can have a meaningful Advent and a meaningful way of looking back at this God who so generously decided to be with us in a particular time, in a particular place. And so we continue to celebrate and anticipate that celebration of His being with us in Christmas. The very first coming of Jesus is so loaded with the many dimensions of how He makes holy everything because of who He is as God for us, as God Emmanuel.